What's good, YouTube? It's me, your boy Squiddy, back again. YCS Japan actually just happened yesterday. It was a YCS in Osaka, and these are actually best of one rounds, which is kind of funny. It's like a one-day premier event. Usually they get like a couple hundred, maybe like 1,000 people for this, so it's actually quite popular. But yeah, they had a stream yesterday, so I thought I'd do some streaming. This is actually Kashtira versus Abyss actors. Which apparently got new support. I had no idea. I don't really know what the cards do, but I'm going to try and decipher this for you guys. So, Kashtira guy wins a Dairo. Summons Fenrir, gonna add a copy of the new card. Kashtira, I think it's called Rise Heart. It's essentially like the Rhino Heart that got corrupted by Kashtira. This card's effect is if you control Kashtira monster, you can special summon it from your hand. It's like an extender. Oh, he actually plays this spell card. I think this is the one that, what's it called? Kashtira Papias. So this allows you to target one Kashtira monster you control, and then special summon a Kashtira monster from your deck with a different attribute. Actually, it's supposed to be in defense position, but I guess he's special summon attack. Anyways, the restriction is you can't special summon from extra deck except for XYZ. So he's going to go ahead and get Unicorn, use Unicorn's effect, add Kashtira Birth. That's the one where it allows you to normal summon level 7 monsters without attributing, and then during your main phase, you can special summon one of your non-XYZ Kashtiras that are banished or in the graveyard. Again, Rise Hard is the one that when you control Kashtira monster, you can special summon it. And then if it was normal special summon this turn, you can banish a Kashtira card from your deck. So a lot of the spell cards actually do get effects when they are banished. And then the other effect is you banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck face down after you resolve that effect face down. And then this card's level becomes level 7. So he's going to overlay the 2 Unicorn and the Fenrir for the XYZ. I think it was called Shangri-La. So that card's effect is during each standby phase. You can special summon a Kashtira monster from your deck. And then each time a card your opponent owns and possesses is banished face down, you can choose one unused main monster zone or spell trap zone that cannot be used while this monster is face up on the field. And then if this card is destroyed by battle card effect, you can detach a card from this material instead. And then he's going to be able to banish the trap card with the effect of Rise Heart. So again, we mentioned banish a card, Kashtira from your deck to banish the top 3 cards of the opponent's deck face down. And then that also allows you to enable the effect of Shangri-La, because when a card is banished, you can choose the main monster zone that cannot be used. And then, of course, using the effect of Shangri-La opens the door to Kashtira A Rise Heart, which is the other XYZ that's essentially like a Macrocosmos and a Trident on legs, which is just not... Yeah, so... What was that trap that he banished? I think it was called Kashtira Big Bang, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Kashtira Big Bang. If a Kashtira XYZ monster is on the field, make both players banish monsters from your field face down, so they only control one. It's like an evenly matched. And then if this card becomes banished, you can target one Kashtira XYZ monster you control, add one Kashtira monster you own attached to it to your hand, and then you can special summon it from your hand. So it's kind of neat that by doing this combo, he's able to add back a name as well. It's really like a control deck. Looks like the Kashtira Shangri-La just gets or actually, it looks like he's actually imperming the Rise Heart, which is strange. So obviously the trap will resolve on a new chain. He's able to add back the Fenrir and then special summon it to his board. So he has like another disruption. And then now having used Shangri-La, I'm fairly certain he can just overlay for a Rise Heart, because you just have to. It just specifies that you have to use that effect if it activated the effect. So yeah, he's actually going to special summon this is one of the new extenders as well. I think it's called Kashtira, Scareclaw Kashtira. So during the main phase, quick effect, you special summon this card from your hand, then banish one Kashtira card from your hand or graveyard. And then the other effect is they can attack while it's in face-up defense position, but it doesn't really, not really relevant. It's more of an extender. So yeah, it looks like he's going to make Mind Hacker. Mind Hacker, obviously, being able to basically look at your opponent's extra deck. It's especially powerful in turn 1, because if you're playing against like something like Tearlaments and they're only playing 1 Kick Callus, you can just get rid of it to the end of the game. So I expect people will probably be playing 2 or more Kick Callus just because of this card being a threat in the meta deck. His opponent's obviously playing Abyss Actors, so he probably has no idea what these cards do. I honestly don't either. Some kind of pendulum deck, I guess, that also plays Link monsters. Looks like there are a lot of Link monsters in that extra deck. He's probably just like trying to figure out which one is a one of that could be banished. I would say probably Beyond the Pendulum if it's a one of. It looks like that's what he's going for. I really don't know like what the cards do. And you don't really have time to read everything, I guess, especially when it's a best of one. So yeah, it looks like he's gonna go ahead and banish Beyond the Pendulum face down, and then Shangri-La is gonna activate, um, uh, which activates only when your opponent's card is banished, obviously. So that was a good improvement with the Rise Heart. But again, Mindhacker is gonna be able to allow him to push through, so he can overlay a Rise Heart using a Kashtira monster he controls. So he's gonna go ahead and overlay that on the level 4 Rise Heart. And then the other effect is any card sent in the graveyard is banished instead. And then once per chain, each time a card is banished, attach one banished card to this card as material. And then you quick effect, you can detach 3 materials from this card, just target one card in the field, banish it face down. So it's a Macrocosmos and a Dryden on legs, which is super nuts, and it banishes. So obviously it's very, very powerful. Part of the reason why the deck is tier 1 in the OCG right now. He's going to go ahead and activate Kashtira Burst, special summon back the Fenrir that was in the graveyard, attach this material. So yeah, this is a really, really powerful control deck, I have to say. It's like Eldritch on crack almost. Like you get a Dark Claw with 3,000 attack and defense that cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Oh, actually, it can be destroyed by battle or card effect, never mind. But obviously, like quick play to banish is super, super useful as well. Very, very powerful cards. His opponent's going to draw for turn. He's putting that token in the middle column to indicate that cannot be used, which is really, really probably the best spot, especially against pendulums, because a lot of their links do point in both directions. So locking off that middle column could potentially actually hurt them. Cash Shangri-La. Okay, so yeah, Rise Heart can actually be destroyed. I'm surprised. Maybe that's why they play like Raigekis and Dark Holes. I also see a lot of players siding like Swords of Concealing Light and Book of Eclipse to flip everything face down. But obviously, this being best of one is just crazy. I can't believe they actually have a format that's best of one. it seems so like die-rolly. Like already his opponent's staring down a board. He's lost a card from his extra deck. His opponent has a lot of information. He's only got 4 cards in hand. It seems like it'd be really hard to win out of this. I don't know how he's gonna do it. Gonna have to read some of these Abyss Actors cards. I have no idea what they do. So go ahead and play a Pot of Prosperity, which is a good sign. I guess it means he doesn't have to use all his extra decks. So potentially that Beyond the Pendulum doesn't hurt as much as we would think it would. But I would expect him to just banish 3 here, probably just for the Pot of Duality effect, because I don't think that a deck like this could afford to banish 6. But I don't know. I could be wrong. So Curtain Raiser, that's the extender, and I think that one's Mellow Madonna. Is it? It's one of the new cards in well, newer cards in one of the Legendary Duelist Season 2 that came out like a year or 2 ago. Oh, 2018, so it came out like 4 years ago. Wow. Pendulum effect is you can pay 1,000 life points, add 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck to hand. Oh, that's kind of cool. And then you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters. Oh, does that include Link monsters too? That's a pretty hefty restriction. You cannot special summon monster for this turn except Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters. And then the monster effect is it gains 100 attack for every Abyss spell card in your deck. When a Pendulum monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon from hand. If an Abyss Actor script spell card is activated, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck, but return to the hand during the end phase. Okay, so these cards are actually not bad. I don't know like what the end board is. I only know Curtain Raiser because it's actually played in some of the Pendulum decks, but I'm not sure what these new ones do. Looks like she's going to go ahead and add the Mellow Madonna. So it does have the Pendulum effect. You can pay 1k to add Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from his deck's hand. But then obviously he gets that restriction where he cannot special summon the rest of your turn except Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters, which is kind of crazy. I'm pretty sure these guys also have Link monsters, if I'm not mistaken. But that would mean that you can't even Link. Yeah, they do have some Link monsters, actually. Interesting. So if you use that search effect, you just can't Link for the turn? That seems like such a hefty restriction. If I'm reading this right, it says you cannot. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I guess maybe that's not an effect you use unless you're desperate. Okay, so because the card was banished face down, he can attach a card as material. And then he uses the effect of Shangri-La, which allows him to lock one of the spell and trap zones. What else is happening? There's a lot going on. And then a Mind Hacker also has the other effect. If a card your opponent owns is banished face down, you can banish cards from your top of your opponent's deck face down equal to their banished cards. So it's a trigger effect that can also be activated on the opponent's turn. So potentially, like, this could be really devastating for cards that play like 1-ups. You're not going to be activating like a Pot of Desires or anything. I just don't think it's playable when Mind Hacker is like a card. Obviously the A-Rise Heart one material away from being able to banish as well face down. So he's got Fenrir, A-Rise Heart. That's already 2 disruptions on top of the traps that he has set. He's gonna normal summon. I think that card is Abyss Actor Comic Relief. You take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. Once per turn during your standby phase, give control of this card to your opponent. And then once per turn, if control of this face-up card changes, activate this effect. The owner of this card can destroy one set Abyss script spell in their spell and trap zone. Oh, that's weird. Because it would be your opponent activating this, right? Because when it changes, the owner of this card. Okay, never mind. So the Abyss Actor card player. What is that Abyss Actor card? Abyss Actor script. I think it's Abyss. Which one is it? I think it's Fantasy Magic. There are a bunch of new Abyss Actor cards that just came out, so I'm actually not sure what they all do, but it's kind of interesting. It's like he's gonna activate his opponent's doing some reading, I think, because he doesn't really know what the cards do either. Oh, it's Rise of the Abyss King. That's what it was. This holy smokes, this is like an essay. Target face-up cards on the field equal to the number of attack position Abyss Actor monsters you control with different names. Destroy them. And then your opponent can now respond if you have a level 7 or higher Abyss Actor monster, which it doesn't. And then if its set card is destroyed and then owner's possession by a card effect, opponent's card effect, and you have a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can add up to 2 Abyss Actor cards, blah, 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 from your deck to hand. Okay, so the relevant effect is it destroys. He tried to destroy something, and then he passed his turn with a set card, a Golden Match, which probably isn't enough. But it actually does devastate the entire Kashtira board because they're all different attributes, so that's pretty good there. Pretty heads-up play as well. I guess he wasn't able to fire off that Arise Heart because he only had 2 cards as material. Gonna go ahead and use Fenrir that was left on the table, add another copy of Rise Heart, which is a fire. Fenrir being Earth, obviously. It is an also target, which is how I know. He's gonna tilt that into attack mode, and Fenrir is an easy out for this Golden Match. I think the Abyss Actor player is just like kind of a desperation play, but it seems like Golden Match is actually really powerful there. It just like turn off the entire board. So he's gonna declare the attack, banish face down the Golden Match. This guy will die. The old dude. Abyss Actor. I actually have to read all of these cards. It's crazy. I think some of these Abyss Actors actually have pretty good effects, given that they have a lot of support too. So yeah, Comic Relief. The Pendulum effect is you can target one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster you control and one monster your opponent controls. Switch control of both of those monsters, then destroy this card. That's kind of cool, actually. So now that Abyss Golden Match is gone, he's going to go ahead and normal summon the Unicorn with the special effect. They're actually showing the wrong Unicorn on the screen there. Birth, he can normal summon without attributing. Gonna add another copy of the spell card. And I think he just rebuilds his entire board, so I'm not sure what the Abyss Actors can do. They just basically bought themselves a turn. This being best of 1 is absolutely insane. I can't believe that they would do best of 1 in like a YCS. It's crazy. So he's gonna activate the copy of the spell that he added to special summon another Kashtira from the deck with a different attribute. I think it was called Kashtira Papias. So yeah, getting another copy of Fenrir here. And I think this is a really unique control deck because it does have a pretty high ceiling. You know, as long as you get the ball rolling with cards like Birth, you're just able to build like a huge board. Cards are really oppressive. Obviously, Arise Heart being able to banish cards. Could really detrimental to Tearlaments. I'm surprised Tearlaments are still as good as they are with the Macrocosmos like a Darklaw in the format. So he's going to special summon another copy of Rise Heart, build another Shangri-La, and I think you guys know the song by now. He's going to activate the effect of Rise Heart to probably banish a card from his deck to banish the top 3 cards of his opponent's deck face down, and then Shangri-La would be able to activate, and then from there he's going to be able to overlay another copy of a Rise Heart on top of the Rise Heart like we saw the turn prior. Banishing copy of Unicorn, which is really heads up play because he hasn't used the effect of Birth this turn, so he can't actually special summon that back with Birth, which is pretty nuts. So yeah, he banished the top 3 face down. I would expect to see a Shangri-La activation here, but looks like he's thinking. And previously in the YCS Japans, they've also been best of 1. We've seen decks like True Reiko just like come second place because skill drain and all these traps are just a lot for the other decks to handle in a best of 1 game state. So, oh, and I think his opponent pointed out that he forgot to use the effect of Shangri-La, so he can't actually overlay for a Rise Heart. Got a little too excited there. But I don't think it'll matter in this point. And I think I saw Maxi in his hand as well. This game is just absolutely dominated by this one player. It looks like he's going to get a warning from the judge here for attempting to do that. Okay, maybe he was able to rewind and declare the effect of Shangri-La, and now he's able to overlay for a Rise Heart. Sets another card face down, and in a really dominating position here. And he still hasn't used the effect of Birth yet, if I'm not mistaken. Unless he used it earlier this turn. I don't think he did, though. Or did he use that for special summon the Unicorn? I can't remember. I guess he used it to special summon the Unicorn because he didn't bring it back. Opponent's going to draw for turn. And it's cool that they give him sleeves. I guess those are the entry sleeves that they all have to use for future matches. I don't know. Going to draw for turn. I'm fairly certain he only has like 4 cards in hand, which is not great, especially for a deck with Pendulum where you actually need multiple cards to be able to mount like your power plays for like Pendulum summoning. Looks like it could be over. I'm really curious to see what this deck does, though. Okay, he's going to activate the effect of, what is that, Mellow Maiden, I think? The one that allows you to add Mellow Madonna. Allows you to add, pay 1k, so it's like a Cleaford Scout. Add Abyss actor monster from your deck to your hand, Pendulum monster, and then you can't special summon for the rest of your turn, except Abyss actor Pendulum monsters. Looks like he's trying to activate the effect, if I'm not mistaken. And a Rise Heart actually does a lot against Pendulum decks, obviously, because your Pendulum monsters do get banished when they would be sent to the extra deck. It's kind of like how D-Shifter does the same. And I'm really surprised they actually printed that card. It's really powerful. Being able to banish as well as have a Dark Law effect. And 3k, and you could just overlay it for free, basically, as long as you use the Shangri-La. Or you could even hard overlay it with 3 level 7 monsters, which is easier said than done in this deck, because you do have cards like Birth. You have a bunch of level 7 extenders, and then you can use your normal summon as well when you do have Birth. So even off 1 Fenrir, it's almost like you get almost enough gas just to make one. Fenrir obviously being super powerful because you can add Kashtira monster. It's going to add a copy of the card that we saw last turn, Comic Relief. Going to activate it in the scale. So this does have the Pendulum effect where you can target an Abyss actor Pendulum monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls, switch control of them, then destroy this card. So it's kind of like a honky donkey switcheroo deck, which is kind of neat. So Comic Relief is a scale 8, and then Madonna's a scale 0, which is nice. So you can Pendulum summon from hand the copy of Comic Relief that was previously destroyed the prior turn. And what is that card? I think it's Abyss Actor. I actually don't know what the card is. Abyss Actor. I gotta look it up. I think it's one of the newer cards as well that hasn't been released, if I'm not mistaken. Evil Heel, is it? No, it's... I think it's Wild. Is it Wild? Twinkle, Little Star, no. Trendy Understudy. There's some... Oh, it's Superstar. There are actually a lot of cards. Pendulum rank 3, level 7, 2500 that you Pendulum summoned. When this card is special summoned or normal summoned, your opponent's spell and trap card effects cannot be activated. Oh, neat. So you can't be differentialed. Then once per turn, you can set 1 Abyss script spell directly from your deck, but it's sent to graveyard during the end phase. That's kind of neat. And then a Pendulum effect is you contribute an Abyss actor monster, target 1 Abyss script spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So I guess the relevant one is when it is special summoned, your opponent cannot activate any effects, which immediately closes off that closed game state. So it immediately goes to the open game state where he is able to activate the effect to set a script spell directly from the deck. That's kind of neat, actually, because your opponent basically cannot respond to the summon. And I'm fairly certain it couldn't be like Solemn Judgment or Striked, right? Or can it? I don't know. I actually don't know how that works. If that's true, then your opponent just cannot activate Solemn Judgment on Pendulum Summon, which is kind of neat. Gonna activate the effect of the Comic Relief and the Pendulum skill to take control of the Shangri-La and then give him the copy of the Comic Relief that was on the field. This is kind of funny, actually. I don't know what Shangri-La, if he plays like Zeus in the extra deck, maybe he could just overlay for Zeus. Shangri-La obviously only having 0 attack, 3k defense, not much of a monster that could help clear the board. So not really sure where we can go with this. And again, Beyond the Pendulum is actually gone. And he is, again, under the effect of Mellow Madonna, so he couldn't even overlay for Zeus if he wanted to, because he is restricted to only summoning Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters for this turn. So yeah, having Beyond the Pendulum wouldn't even matter here. That's a really heavy restriction. I'm surprised they did that when this actually does have link support. And, oh, what's going on here? Kashtira Fender got banished. Could attach some material for a Rise Heart. I'm actually trying to read all these cards. There are a lot of them. Gonna imperm on the effect of the Superstars effect to try and set a card. New Chain, a Rise Heart gets attached to the imperm that was banished because of his effect. Now he just has a quick play. Banish any face-up card face down, which is pretty powerful. Gonna go ahead and activate another copy of Prosperity. I'm surprised he didn't do that before, but I guess he wanted to bait something out and also deck thin if he could get that effect Superstar through to set a card. Fenrir. Oh, he's gonna cross. Wow, he actually plays Prosperity as well in his deck, so he's gonna cross out Designator the Prosperity again. Cross out being a 1-of in the OCG as well is pretty crazy. Called by 2, 1 cross out, so they basically have 3. But so those are going to banish. New Chain and Rise Hearts. Going to be able to attach another banished card. Attach the cross out Designator. Because why not? And oh, he can still link summon? Did I? Maybe I missed something there. Mellow Madonna? Maybe I just didn't read that card right. Oh, he can't. Okay, the judge pointed out that you are under restriction of Mellow Madonna, so you cannot link summon. That's tough. I really cannot believe they made that restriction for Mellow Madonna. It should have just said Aqua Abyss Actor Monsters, I would imagine, but it says Abyss Actor Pendulum Monsters. Maybe it's an older card? I don't know. That was before the links came out. That was the only thing that really makes any sense. And looks like he's going to fire off the effect. Rise Heart to try and banish his own Shangri-La. At the end phase, I would presume. Get his monsters back in the banished column so he can special them back with Birth. Let's draw for turn. And yeah, it doesn't look like the Abyss Actor has much left. Does he even have any cards in hand? I don't think he does. They actually have quite a bit of support for Abyss Actors. Hyper Director being a link one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster. Okay, he's going to go ahead and use Defective Birth, bring back Fenrir. And I think the opponent sees the writing on the wall. There's not much he can do here. Obviously, Birth not negating the effect is really, really crazy as well. So Fenrir can't activate the effect to search his deck for another copy. Wow. The Abyss Actor Hyper Director is not bad. You can target one card in your Pendulum, special summon it, then place one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster with a different name from your deck or face up extra deck to your Pendulum zone. Also, you cannot normals or special for the rest of the turn except Abyss Actor monsters. Once per turn, hard. It's a dual overload. Interesting. I gotta read these cards because they seem like they have some decent support. And you know, Pendulum monsters are always good. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and attack. Gonna banish the Mellow Madonna face down with effective Fenrir. And I'm pretty sure that's just game, right? What is that? 3k plus Comic Relief, which is 1,000, 4,000, and then the Fenrir that went over. Or maybe his opponent just like barely alive because he hadn't scooped yet. This one cannot special summon monsters. There are quite a bit of decent Abyss Actor cards. It seems heavily combo oriented though. Like you have to play a lot of these cards. You have to play the spell cards in addition to the Pendulum monsters. And it seems like it's kind of neat that he chose to play Gozen Match though. I guess it is kind of good against Kashtiras and decent against the tier limits as well. Of course, their monsters being a mixture of dark and water, so like Rukalis being water, it can put in some damage, I guess. So top deck, one card in hand, and it doesn't look like there's much you can do. Staring down a Fenrir and an Arise Heart. Unfortunately, it is only best of one, so I don't know why it made best of one again. I guess he's just gonna try and link off into that link one monster that allows you to special summon one from one of your Abyss actors, but then that just gets put away by Fenrir. He does have a Rise Heart with 3 materials, so he's just gonna go ahead and get rid of the monster, and I think that should be game. It's gonna get banished face down. Maybe you're not allowed to scoop either on this. I think, yeah. And that's actually the end of the game. Pretty crazy. We saw like a very one-sided game. Kashtira versus Abyss Actors, which I don't think are meta relevant in the OCG at all because I haven't seen them anywhere unless I'm mistaken. Oh, they actually have that Starving Venom Dragon as well. That's not banned over there. And yeah, that's the end of the game. If you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to try and do the rest of them as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.